ask your questions, and hopefully we have some good answers. So our first question comes from Kylo Ten at Fulcrumandor, and she asks, #AskTheResistance, when do you think we'll get the title announcement and first teaser for episode 9? Ladies first, I think we're going to get a title announcement soon, actually. I don't remember when I said before. I can't remember. It's been a long day.
My birthday.
Yeah, but I think we're going to get one soon, guys. I think, we're probably going to get something once they start production, like they did with Rian Johnson, where they did that little video where it says now in production. I think we're going to get one of those, and I think we're going to get a title announcement probably sometime in the fall with a teaser in late fall, similar to The Force Awakens, and then we'll get another teaser around Celebration, which will be April. And that's what I think.
It's a good answer. I actually forgot about the whole, Episode 8 has started filming teaser.
Yeah, they did that when they were on
Skellig
Michael.
Michael Skellig.
Michael Skellig.
Skellig Michael.
Michael Skellington.
That island in Ireland.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay, our next question comes from OT Nix at This Is Nix. And this person asks, do you think episode 9 is the time where we will finally get to hear Maz Kanata's story of how she obtained Luke's blue lightsaber? John, what do you think?
All right, so I think this is one of those tweets of mine that James actually liked, where I do my where I do my little speculating. So I did tweet about this last week, and I said, we'll find out Lando gave Maz Luke's lightsaber after it was recovered on Cloud City. He will make a wisecrack when he finds out it has since been destroyed, something about how kids today don't take care of their things, and then it will pan to the Falcon, which is all dirty and busted up compared to the Falcon he used to love back in his younger years. So, yeah, I think we're going to find out. I don't think it's going to wind up being that big of a deal. Again, I think it's going to be this kind of thing where Lando's like, oh, Maz, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's going to be this giant mystical story that we've kind of all built up in our heads. Shame on us for doing so. But I want to find out, so I hope we do. But yeah, that is a good question. I kind of forgot about that aspect of the story, so maybe that's
it was one of those things that was brought up. Again, that box, the mystery box that J.J. Abrams loves, where he sets up all these questions, and you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then the next movie, you were like, none of my questions were answered. Wait, they're in purgatory? What? Anyway. Okay. Going into
something like that reference.
Going back to our next question, we have Adam Odle at EH Odle, and he asks, is episode 9 going to address Rey's anger and aggression? Up to this point, the story has not presented those attributes as an obstacle Rey has to overcome. Anakin and Luke both had to deal with controlling their fear and anger. Will Rey? #AskTheResistance. James, what do you think?
This is the hardest question I've ever seen on Ask the Resistance, and it is almost a full discussion in itself. I don't even know how I could begin to answer this in a short segment. I called my
Two
friend.
Sentences.
We had a 20, 30-minute discussion, and we weren't even touching the surface on this. I don't know, man. At first I thought Rey was justified in her anger, she tapped into the Force, she came back and defeated Kylo, and it's the victor. But then I saw some stuff today. I know it was today, but it was last week, I guess, when you're listening to this, about what it meant when Luke was defeating Vader and he was hammering him down, and then he decides not to defeat him and he throws it to the side, and it just goes deeper and deeper and deeper into what it means to be a Jedi and using the Force to defeat somebody. Dude, this is a deep question, and I'm glad you asked it.
Isn't it defense never attack, right? That's the quote from Yoda.
And so that's the thing is I thought I had this idea of Rey being she's justified. Luke isn't getting up. He's not doing anything. He's being, he's retracting
passive.
What he, And no, he's not, I can't think of the word, but he's not being proactive. He's not doing anything. And that's aggravating Rey. And she's saying, you have to step up. We need to do something. And that's a good thing. That's a positive thing that we're supposed to understand as a culture. When things aren't happening, we don't shy away from it. We're supposed to step up. And eventually that kicks him into doing something about it. So I always saw that as a positive thing. I also saw she tapped into the Force and she was able to defeat Kylo in Force Awakens. That's a good thing. But the book implies that Snoke is like, yes, kill him now. And he's trying to talk to her. And it's like a whole dark side thing. And Yoda would never do that. I don't know. It's just, the whole thing just is such a deep thing. I got to say, I have no clue. And that's probably the best question I've seen on Ask the Resistance in a while. And I think we need to have a longer discussion. I'm throwing this out there to them now. They don't know this, John and Lacey, but I throw this up as like, let's talk about this. What does it mean when Rey taps into her anger? Because it's just too deep for Ask the Resistance.
It's an interesting thing that you said, James, besides that you mentioned that you were reading a book, that you said that Rey's is so eager to help, and that's seen as normally as a good thing. That's what you said. Something like, normally we would all do that, right? You jump in to help. If you look at The Last Jedi as a whole, the whole movie is, first of all, failure. But second of all these people jumping in to help, and all they're doing is ending up causing more destruction. Like, you know, Finn and Rose go to Canto Bight. They end up destroying Canto Bight, coming back, and then causing the Resistance to get in trouble with the First Order because they end up telling them about the ships going to the other planet.
Yeah, and I think
then Rey goes to Kylo Ren, and then there's more trouble there. Like,
there's an argument to be made for that, especially in Star Wars. But I don't know what it means like in real life though. Like when things are happening, do we step up? Do we stand up for the people who can't stand up for themselves? You know what I mean? Things like that.
Of course.
We do our part. We all chip in. You know, stuff like that. We build our community, and we're stronger that way. I don't know. There's like a lot of aspects to that you would normally think would be a good thing, but when somebody comes in and says, no, you're the villain, and they try to strike him down and they stand above him, they say he's too dangerous to be kept alive. That's not the Jedi way, you know? And
right. And when do you become the villain?
Deep question. When does someone who tries to protect for the greater good become the villain because they don't have compassion for someone who has fallen? Or I don't know. It's dark, man. It's a deep question.
And there's also the thing about being on this track of you think what you're doing is right. So leading up to The Last Jedi, all the interviews that the cast did, a lot of what Adam Driver was saying all the time was, my character thinks he's doing what's right. Mm-hmm. So it becomes this question of what is that like turn when what you thoroughly believe is right is wrong, no matter how much good intention comes from it.
Yeah, like I said, I think we're scratching the surface, guys, and we need to wrap up the episode with the last question. But I want to give another shout out again just to Adam Odle. Like, that's a great deep question, and I don't think any of us really have the answer to it. But it's going to be fun to speculate leading up to episode 9.
Yeah, I would like to talk about it, just to put my 2 cents in here. Shut up.
And thank you so much for listening, guys. If you want to...
if you want to subscribe, go to YouTube.
I'm curious to see if they address it in 9, but I do think we should maybe discuss it next week or something like that. It's a good idea to really open it up and try to stay away from Kylo as much as possible and focus on Rey. Mm-hmm. But it is interesting and something to think about because, like you said, even though this movie's about resolving everything, Luke still had a lot of challenges in episode 6. So it's very possible Rey does too.
Absolutely. And I remember one of the Reddit, like, I work for Lucasfilm posts, which I always love that sentence, you know, I work for Lucasfilm, so this is legit. One of the rumors was that Rey blew up her parents with anger, like when they left her.
That seems more like a Rian Johnson thing.
Right.
That seems more like an Infinity War thing.
Well, that happened. Well, it didn't really exactly happen, but it kind of happened in Looper.
Rey's dad is like, Rey, I don't feel so good. What's happening? Like, he just turns into like dust. Just like everyone's like overdoing that meme now, but everything, you know, I don't feel so good. And
Mr. Skywalker, I don't want to die.
No, the thing was that she blew up the ship like when they flew away or something. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, going on to our last question. It's from Darth Hurricane at Darth Hurricane.
Nice. Way to get your handle. And also, I believe Darth Hurricane was the one who inspired our discussion that we had a week or so ago. So thank you. Yeah.
The one that I'm not a part of. Stop bringing things up.
One of the best discussions we've had
crushed.
in a while.
I hate both of you. Okay, and Darth Hurricane asks, which two characters would you like to see meet in some form, film, comic, book, animation, that we haven't seen meet yet? For me, it is Luke and Ahsoka teaching him who his father is. That's not mine. That's Darth's. James, what do you think?
I am super bummed because that is my answer. Like, I can't even provide you anything more. Like, I've been thinking about Luke and Ahsoka meeting up for so long that I was having trouble trying to think of anybody else. And it's always just like, okay, then I guess Luke and Ezra. I think Luke is such a standard for Star Wars characters that Luke meeting anybody is awesome. And who else in a time frame where we don't know that a whole lot about Luke do we have to connect with? Well, Ahsoka's alive. Ezra's alive, possibly. It's just that those two characters are the number one and number two people that I think would be the best meetups that I could possibly imagine. But I'm sure you guys have other ones.
But you want that to be a live action Ahsoka, right?
No. I just want to hear about their meeting up in any way, any medium, because it's all the same.
John?
So I tried to think of two characters that are kind of similar that could potentially cross paths. And I'm looking at maybe it's got to be a comic or something just because of ages. And I was thinking of Beckett and DJ. And I was thinking, like, what if they cross paths in a criminal world sense back in the day? Obviously, before Beckett gets killed, so you're looking at like a 10-year-old DJ or something like that. But if you've ever seen the movie Paper Moon with Tatum O'Neal, like she gets with this guy and they become con artists together, and she's like a little kid, but she's street smart, and he like takes her along and turns her into a kind of a con artist. I could see like Beckett bringing this kid along and teaching him the ways, and then DJ goes off and becomes the dirtbag that he is.
Or
and
like,
he's like
The Professional.
Yeah, with Natalie Portman. And then like at the end of their comic series, Beckett will be like, "Hey DJ, heard about a job, you want to come with me?" And DJ's like, "Maybe."
It's funny, that's kind of Kanan's story too. Is that Kanan was kind of brought up by
You love Kanan so much.
I'm just saying, it's been covered. Like he was
this is not Jedi, dude. This is like criminal, like dirtbag type of stuff.
That's what I'm saying. That was kind of his story. He after Order 66 happened,
James,
he kind of
was
brought up in a scummy way.
Shut up. Lacey, what do you got?
I'm gonna go different from you guys. I'm gonna say I really want Hux and Rey to meet, because I really want him to say something like that he thinks is witty or snarky, and for her to just like punch him in the face.
So
like
you want
that
Hux
would
to
just
still
like
be like the goof, the fall goof.
he's not
Elmer Fudd?
not a goof, not a goof. I'm saying like I want him to be like, we finally caught you or some shit, and then she just like punches him in the face.
Okay.
I would love that.
But that
I just
would
want
be
her to have
goofy.
her moment where like she gets. That's not goofy.
She punches Hux in the face?
That's not necessarily goofy. Depends how you do it.
It's like,
What if she hits him in the face with a pie?
yeah,
See,
that's what I'm saying.
Goofy. I'm saying like in a very tense, serious moment, she punches him in the face. Like someone's got to get Hux back for blowing up all those planets and being like a scumbag.
Has a
I would
Jedi
rather
ever
Hux
punched
have
someone
the
in the
upper
face?
hand in that scene, to be honest with you.
She's not a Jedi though.
Yeah, she is.
This was actually brought up in our conversation with my friend earlier on the phone. Is he said he didn't think Rey was a Jedi, and I was like, dude, I don't know how to argue against it, but I mean, I don't know how you could possibly think that, considering the last lines that Luke says, and they cut to her. But he's like,
I
maybe
guess
she's not a Jedi yet.
I'm thinking of it as like, I'm thinking of it as like she hasn't gone through any formal training or anything like that.
And
but like
she
it depends
probably
what your
won't.
term of Jedi is.
Yeah.
James, this is a question for you from me. Ahsoka, it's like a big question of where she is right after Rebels.
How is
At
that question
Lacey
not how dare
Gillerin-
you?
Lacey Gillerin at Lacey Gillerin writes,
Because I'm curious, because like I would love to see Rey get trained by Ahsoka, but I don't know the age length of Ahsoka and or if she's around or like what that
Well, for me, if I'm answering the question, Ahsoka is the last time we've seen her is kind of like at an unknown date. I think we kind of assume that it's somewhere around like 6 years after Return of the Jedi. So that's the latest chronologically we've seen her. So Rey might not even be born or really close to around that same time. So I think like theoretically there's a space of time where they're both alive, but I would like to see that ends up happening at some point. I think that would be really cool to have Rey and Ahsoka meet up. There's my answer. Rey and Ahsoka.
What's the lifespan of a Twi'lek?
Yeah, I think it's normal, but I don't think she would be like super old or anything. I mean, Darth Vader was old, dude. She was younger than Anakin Skywalker.
By what, 10 years?
So 10 years. So she would have been about 30 at the end of Return of the Jedi.
30. So she's about 35. The difference between...
So she's like 65 now.
Kylo and Rey is the difference between Anakin and Ahsoka, age-wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she'd be like in her mid-60s right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, that's around what, Leia?
She'd be Ahsoka tired.
Okay, well, maybe we can talk about that another time. But thank you guys so much for your questions. We really appreciate it. If you want to be on the show, make sure to tweet to us with #AskTheResistance. Once again, I got no Kylo questions. What is going on, guys? What is going on? Back to you, John.
I don't know. They're just not sending them in. It's crazy.
Back to you, John. John's rolling his eyes. You guys can't see it. He's rolling his eyes so hard right now.
Nah.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching that video, and if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and head over to the full episode by clicking this box here. If you want, you can subscribe, and that way you get all the weekly news, you get our discussions, you get information on our giveaways whenever we do them. It's a good time, we promise. Thanks for watching the Resistance broadcast.